Finally. It happened, ladies and gentlemen. We got it. The Book of Boba Fett. It is December 29th, and it is here. And I know. It was awesome. Not up to the expectations that I thought it would be. I mean, it was still a crazy good episode, and we'll get into all of it right now. It opens up on Tatooine. Obviously, we pan into Jabba's palace, and we see Boba Fett getting healed up in a bacta tank. He's obviously been through a lot. We saw his face all scarred up in Mando Season 2. He's clearly got some damage done to him, so he's healing up in a bacta tank. But what is the most important thing here that we didn't see at all? I thought we were going to see Crimson Dawn, Kiara. We were going to see it all. We didn't see any of that. But what we did get was the Crimson Dawn's theme song mixed in there with the Boba Fett theme song. And no, that is not going to be a coincidence. That is something that Star Wars, that Lucasfilm, they did on purpose. They put that in there so that crazy fans like us would see it and hear it and be like, oh my god, it's coming. Because we didn't really get anything like that. This was a Boba Fett show episode. This was all him and Fennec, all his backstory, how he survived the Sarlacc pit. But it wasn't, you didn't see Mando, you didn't see Han Solo or Luke Skywalker or Leia or any of them. You didn't see the Crimson Dawn. You didn't see much of anything. It was a Boba Fett show. And it's called the Book of Boba Fett. So I think we will get those characters later on in the season, maybe episode 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But the first few episodes are just going to be establishing where Boba's at right now, what's going on with this story. Because honestly, think about it. In the original trilogy, Boba Fett has like 5 lines and he dies. So you got to really tell us who Boba Fett is. A lot of people loved Boba Fett, but we never really got a story. So Boba's in the back of the tank and he's getting flashbacks. You see a cool, awesome thing of Kamino. I literally lost my mind. I was like, oh my god, that's Kamino. And then you see, of course, him as a kid pick up Jango Fett's head. Mace Windu chops it off. We know that. But then it cuts to the Sarlacc pit. And I mean, this is what we've all been waiting for since 1983. Obviously, I'm not that old, but a lot of people have been waiting 38 years for this moment, for Boba's return. We saw it in Mando, but we didn't see how it was done. We got literal video evidence of what happened in the Sarlacc pit. He goes over to a stormtrooper, takes out his oxygen, and flame on. He sets off his flamethrower in the Sarlacc and literally, buried alive, digs himself out of the sands of Tatooine. There we see the Jawas show up and they take off his armor, and that's how we know the Cobb Vanth gets it in Mando Season 2. But then the Tuskens show up. Tie him up, and drag him across the desert. You see Boba Fett go through so much struggles in this episode, but this is where it all begins. Then we cut back finally to present day. We see what's going on with Boba. Fennec Shand says, wake up, boss. We got people to come pay tribute to you. He puts on his armor. He looks badass in the throne where Jabba used to sit and where Bib Fortuna used to sit. And honestly, he's pretty badass. He wants to play it more like he wants to rule with respect, as he says. He wants to rule with respect, not with fear. So he's kind of giving people the benefit of the doubt. The guy who shows up for the mayor, and it's not really the mayor, and he doesn't even bring a gift, and he asks for a gift. I mean, Jabba would have killed that guy real quick. But Boba says, no, we'll let him be for now. I think that's going to come back to haunt him, and he's probably going to go kill the mayor at some point or whatever. But Fennec Shand, who's a trained assassin, is like, what are you doing? Boss, we gotta clank some heads, you know? But Boba's like, no, we don't do it that way. And I think this episode, the flashbacks versus the now stuff, is awesome. It shows the parallels between Boba before and then how he is now because of what happened with the Tusken Raiders and what he learned from the Tusken Raiders and how he learned that death is not something that you can just run from. He was in the Sarlacc pit. He survived the Sarlacc pit. He got dragged across the desert. He got literally used as a slave to dig up water for the Tusken Raiders. He really learned what it was like to be a slave and to be on the darker side of things. So he wants to now rule with respect and be nicer, let's say. Obviously, he's still going to blow up people. We saw him blow up that guy on the side of the building. Epic. Let's keep going. The next flashback, you see Boba tied up, and there's one of the dogs the Tusken dogs that was in Mando season 2 that Mando tames is watching him, and he tries to escape, and he actually puts the dog, or he puts it to sleep when he escapes. And then the other prisoner there, the Greedo looking guy, I honestly don't remember what their species is called. Drop it in the comments if you know, but it's obviously not Greedo because Han shot first, like 30 years before. No, more like 3 years before. Whatever, Greedo's dead. This isn't Greedo. He's obviously a different color, but he's the same species. So that guy's like, hey, he's escaped. Snitches get stitches, boy. He'll find that out later in the episode, but snitches get stitches. And Boba tries to run. Doesn't get too far. Gets beat up. But he gets beat up in the same way that we see him fight in Mando Season 2 when he first shows up on Tython. The same moves that he was using with that Tusken Raider stick is being used on him in this desert fight scene, and it is so cool. The parallels of this episode versus when he first shows up in Mando Season 2 on Tython are ridiculously cool. The fight scene, all the choreograph is the exact same, just being used on Boba instead of Boba using it out on the stormtroopers in Mando Season 2. But then it's back to present day, and we see Boba and Fennec going into town. We've never seen Tatooine like this. This city is a huge city. We've only seen Tatooine with Mos Eisley and Luke's house, and it looks like there's no cities like this. But there are cities like Mos Espa. Go into this place, and they're like, hey, look, and Boba's like, hey, I want to rule with respect. Jabba ruled with fear, and Fennec's like, hey, look, sometimes fear's a little good, you know? And then they get attacked in the street. They get attacked by these people that we don't know who they are yet. Boba caught one. But they seem to be cornered. They escape, and Boba gets really hurt, blows up a guy on the side of the building, epic, and then says, Fennec, I want him alive. She goes, chases him down, kills one of them, and then brings one in alive. So episode 2, we're going to see what's going on with those people, who hired them, what's going on, and who's out to get Boba. Who's out? Who wants to get the throne? But Boba rushes back to Jabba's palace, rushes back into the bacta tank because he is hurt bad. He's been through enough. He's got to heal up. He needs his time to heal. But then we get another flashback. Now this flashback, it's the kid Tusken Raider. He comes and takes the 2 prisoners, Boba and this other dude, and they go into the desert. They finally come across a moisture farm. It is not Luke's moisture farm. It's not the Skywalker Ranch. It's not it. But they look over the dune, and these pirates, or whatever you want to call them, marauders, are trashing the place. They're putting their symbol on the side. They're trashing the place. And Boba's like, I don't like that. He wants to protect the people of Tatooine. That's why he's becoming the crime lord, and he seems pretty nice, and now he wants to protect these people on this planet from these type of people. And he's pretty angry about it. Then the kid Tusken takes them over to a spot where he knows that there's going to be these water things. This is really cool. You see the nature of Tatooine and how it actually works, and it's pretty sick. And they dig up a bunch of these water balls. I don't even know. What would you call them? Water balls. And they dig up a bunch of them. But then Greedo-looking dude comes across a hand. A literal lizard-like hand. And at first I was like, oh my god, this is going to be a Rancor or a Krayt Dragon or something. But no, it was this new creature that I've never seen before. Kind of looked like, I don't even know, like a scorpion almost, but with it just looked sick. It was such a cool new creature that we've never seen in Star Wars before. And I mean, they still got new stuff. Star Wars isn't the same old. We still got new creatures being made, and they are awesome. You see Boba actually earn the respect of this kid Tusken Raider by killing the monster as it's going to kill the kid Tusken Raider, takes its head off, and brings it back to town. And then you see the Tusken say, we respect you, here's some water. And now I do believe that he's going to get trained by the Tuskens in their ways. He's going to become one of them and earn a new respect for Tatooine. And that's why he is the crime lord of Tatooine. And that's why he came back here to become the crime lord of Tatooine. He was a bounty hunter. He got paid by the Empire to do jobs. He got paid by Jabba the Hutt to do jobs. But now he is one with Tatooine because he's seen the people. He's seen all the Tusken Raiders. He's seen all the Jawas. He's seen all these people and how he could help as a crime lord. So he's a crime lord, but he's kind of a nice guy. I mean, so far, he did blow up that one guy on the side of the building. A lot of people are hating on this episode, but I loved it. No Han Solo, no Luke Skywalker, no Grogu. You can't expect those people in a Boba Fett show right away. You got to get some backstory. We knew we were going to get the backstory on what happened in the Sarlacc pit, and you got it, and it was epic. You got to see inside the Sarlacc pit and how he escaped. It was so cool. And you're complaining about that? You will get Han Solo. You will get Kiara. You will get Luke Skywalker later. Love what you get, because we waited a whole year for it. Honestly, I give it like an 8.5 out of 10. Great episode, great starter episode for the Book of Boba Fett. Gave us what story we've wanted to see for the last 38 years. Boba goes into the Sarlacc pit. Sarlacc pit takes forever to digest something, and he escapes. It happened in Legends, and now it happened in the real canon of Star Wars. This is canon now. He escaped the Sarlacc. He survived. He was in Mando Season 1, Mando Season 2, and now he's got his own show. And I'm so excited. We could have the Crimson Dawn. We could have Han Solo. We could have Luke Skywalker. We could have it all. But this was such a good start. Smash like if you like this video. Hit subscribe and hit that bell, because we'll be having Boba Fett stuff coming out all throughout the week. And of course, all these breakdowns after each episode. There's 7 episodes. I know, not 8, but 7 episodes. And I think they're going to be jam-packed. I think we could even get an appearance of Kiara, or the Crimson Dawn at least, mentioned in the next episode. I think we're going to hit the ground running after this episode, and it's really just going to go boom, 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 boom. And soon enough, you're going to be like, oh my God, did that just happen? So don't miss out on any of it. Hit that subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video. Ladies and gentlemen, it is such a good time to be a Star Wars fan. And may the Force be with you always.